Hi guys, so I did my research paper over free-range eggs. So basically when you go into a grocery store, there are a few different eggs you can see, but the most two common are your conventional produced eggs and your free-range eggs, or your cage-free. Conventional eggs are chickens, actually they're small confined cages, and they have like a small nesting area. They're provided pellets and water, but it's just like they don't get to do their natural behaviors, like they're just confined in these small areas. And I have a small picture to provide. Like this is kind of like some situations they might be in. Situations might be a little better, a little worse, but they're just in these small defined areas expected to produce eggs. But it's a good idea to get free range and cage free are actually not the same thing. Cage free is actually the same idea as chickens being in a cage, like they don't get access to the outdoors. They're just kind of stuffed in a small area like this. Also provided food and water and nesting areas, but they're just like all defined in this small area. So free range is when they actually have access to the outdoors and they actually get to it brings out their natural behaviors, so they go like foraging for food, they eat more than just pellets, drink water, like they have access to like everything. So studies show that chickens who live in free range actually produce more nutrient dense eggs because they have a wider diet. So they're eating like protein, they're eating insects, they're eating berries, they're eating all these foods rather than just like chicken pellets, and so they're going to produce more nutrient dense eggs. Specifically increasing like levels of omega-3 content and vitamin E. Some people tend to oppose free range just because they're like, oh, we don't know what's going into our eggs because we don't know what the chickens are consuming. But that's really not. To do free range, you have to like meet a set of like standards for law, and like the weather has to cooperate. You have to like meet like certain requirements to be able to do it, to make sure that like the things the chickens are consuming and like that the eggs are safe for humans to eat. So it's not just all like, oh, go eat whatever you want. Like it's not like that. But the most significant thing that I learned specifically from researching these like different ways of producing eggs, and specifically free range eggs, is that happy chickens produce happy eggs. So the eggs that happy chickens that get to explore and get to eat and get to live the life that they were supposed to live, they produce the eggs that are genuinely better for you. They taste better, they're better for you, they're just like better overall. If I were to do this project again, how I would do it differently is I would research even more egg types, because there's also like pasture raised eggs. So that's like maybe like you go to like the Amish, like I know we have like an Amish community like Shipshawana, Indiana. You could like go to that Amish community and get eggs from them, and they most likely raise their chickens in a pasture raised, or maybe like a farmer's market and get from pasture raised eggs. Those are actually even better than free range eggs, because although free range is better than conventional and cage free, it's obviously still not perfect, and obviously companies are still trying to produce an efficient amount and make money, so like it's not as good. But I would explore more into those other types of eggs if I were to do this differently. Also like organic eggs, because I know those have different requirements through the government to be considered organic, or the FDA. And I would also explore like there's ways that like people feed chickens strict diets. So they might feed a chicken strictly vegetarian diets to like make like vegetarian eggs. I would also like do a deep dive into that. And this did change my mindset doing this, because now I will definitely pay more attention to the eggs that I buy, because I personally, I do think it is wrong to be stuffing chickens in small little confined spaces just as like little egg machines. So I definitely will be looking more into the different eggs, like looking at the prices, looking at what eggs I'm buying free range, like just really focusing on that, and maybe even go into the farmer's market and buy eggs from there instead. So yeah, that was my research paper.